Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the UKLC. We're getting ready to go into game number 2. This is MNM versus London. MNM almost had a very convincing game yesterday. London, they played versus Resolve. They played versus, one of the strongest teams in the league, and they lost, unfortunately, for them. So I feel like this game here, I think it's actually going to be a really good kind of power measurement of how good MNM are and how good London are. Because when I'm kind of thinking top 3, top 4, London, MNM, and Resolve are all teams that kind of come into that in my head. So if MNM take this win, I think they do clearly put themselves above London in that power ranking.
Okay, all right. It's cool when people stinky. I like it. But I totally agree. And I think yesterday, honestly, MNM, I had high-ish expectations of the Bulldog roster, but MNM yesterday came out and literally just didn't let Bulldog play the game beyond the first 5 minutes.
Yeah,
there was little to no rebuttal actually available for a lot of plays, it felt like, for Bulldog to actually take, and it was genuinely a very impressive game. It wasn't just like dominating, it was decisive and it was very concise, and that was very impressive, and it's not gameplay you get to see very often out of UKLC. For London, definitely felt bad because Resolve, I think expectations were kind of up. No one really knew how good this particular Resolve roster would be. London just couldn't keep up yesterday, and now they've got to play against a team that looks as daunting. It's a tough week 1.
Yeah, it really is going to be a tough week 1 for them. But let's have a look at where we are in the ban phase so far. Lee Sin and Gwen taken away by London. Renekton, Varus, and Seraphine taken away. The Rumble has been left open. And I wonder if people are starting to think, maybe Morgan is not as weak as we thought in that jungle. And they might just be looking back towards that kind of trifecta we saw on the previous patch. Or maybe that last game was a bit of a fluke. We'll see what that's going to be. The final ban is ticking down. And it's going to be the fresh blocking ban.
Yeah, I mean,
not locked in.
Let's see. I mean, Rumble is up, but okay, it's going to be Lucian priority of all things here for MNM. So happy to give over the Rumble if needs be. And of course, if London do opt for the Rumble lock-in, then MNM can just take the Udyr. So, Udyr plus Lucian is a very strong skirmishing duo. You've got mixed-ish damage. You will still need another AP threat, most likely, but very capable Lucian will get mid lane priority. Udyr will just get to run around the map and do whatever he wants. So, strong parry in there. So, London, they're going to take up the Rumble. Will they lock in something like the Tristana to go with it to try and match that Lucian as well? We're going to have to wait and see.
Looks like for now they're just taunting Gadaka because the Rumble is definitely going in the jungle. I actually quite like Lucian pick as well, just purely because it's definitely a big denial ban from Beely, and you kind of pair the Lucian Rumble up together. It's actually a really nice one. Although we did see Tristan, obviously, like you said, is an option, but we did see Trouble talk quite a lot about it on the NLC last week, where you can actually go an AP mid laner with Rumble just because the Harpoon does give you that magic shred. So it's actually not that awful. And we saw Tristana's getting locked in the NLC and actually then going in the bot lane. So it's still a flexible pick. It could go mid, it could go bot. And I actually do like London kind of keeping their book open here. Maybe just take themselves a nice support. Maybe just take themselves an AD carry. We'll see what they want to go for. Obviously, the Kai'Sa is a very nice matchup into that Ezreal. We didn't see it really get executed perfectly in that last game, but that is going to be the lock-in here for London. They've got the Kai'Sa, they've got the Tristan, they've got a lot of damage to work with. They need to start find some engage and some kind of front line to go with that. And MNM on the other side, they still got a book open on kind of what they can look for their top and their bot laner right now.
Yeah, and I mean, hell, the Lucian can technically even flex top if you want to get super technical about it. You could see something like Lucian top with maybe a Victor, though it can definitely suffer into the Rumble equalizers. Can do really well at dealing with the diving threats of the Kai'Sa, and obviously can neutralize some of the threat that the Tristana has in lane. For now, I am somewhat surprised to see like support bans straight up come out here from both of these teams, just because they both need supports. So maybe you would have seen a deviation from that, but London probably don't want to ban out tops unless they're super scared of Aragon's Aatrox from yesterday, which he, of course, well, it wasn't necessarily a counter pick, a blind pick, but sort of a counter pick. So that could be an option, but if you're this Kai'Sa, you want something like the Leona. So I think both these bans make sense. And now I think if you're MNM, you're kind of forced to remove the Leona away just because of how many support bans come through. That's going to be the case. So now you're kind of lacking on the engaged supports unless you want to do something crazy like Blitzcrank. But I don't necessarily know if Hepe will lock that one into the Ezreal, especially because you can Arcane Shift out of it.
And there's a Lucian as well. I feel
oh,
like...
Rel, okay, hey.
Yeah, I was about to say, I feel like Blitz is a pretty hard one to do. And Rail offers, you know, quite a lot here. You get more of that diving threat as well, which we want to be seeing from London. So I actually do like this. Gives them that engage, gives them that diving threat. And they have a really disgusting team put together here. We'll see what MNM are going to try and answer out with here. They're obviously looking for a top laner and looking for that support right now. At the moment, hovering this Gragas.
I would like it. I think
you get it.
Yeah, I think it makes a bunch of sense. The rail I kind of forgot about as sort of one of the engaged supports, just because it's kind of fallen out of favor in turn of course, the Leon and Nautilus kind of champions. But still pairs up really strongly with this Kai'Sa, and the Gragas was one of the answers to this champion when rail was meta, so happy to see it locked in. And now Aragon eyeing up, or potentially Vango, of course, these two champions can flex mid and top respectively. And with the Ezreal on the Gragas and what magic damage the Udyr does do, this might just be enough magic damage to kind of get by, because there isn't currently a frontliner available on London, which the Malzahar Malphite hovers are kind of funny. I think Malphite might not make the most sense, but could do it. But they do need a frontliner, and I think that's what London will be looking for here.
Okay, they are going for it. I mean, this adds more to that engage as well. Yeah, I think post 6, London's team comp is pretty scary. You've got the unstoppable force, you've got the equalizer, you've obviously got the Kai'Sa that can jump in, you've got the rail that can also follow up. They've got a lot to work with here. MNM though, what do you think this team is looking to do? How does this team operate?
I think they're really looking to play off the lane priority from top and what priority the Lucian can gain in the mid lane. I think that they can also play through bot with the CC available. Rail, of course, once she is demounted, is very vulnerable to ganks, and there will be a fair amount of pressure on No Name to keep up with the pace that Udyr can set as a jungler. With his pressure and all the tempo he can sort of just amount by existing clearing camps faster than every other jungler in the game right now.
Yeah.
So No Name has to really keep track of Gad, and I think if you're MNM, you're looking to probably play towards the top side, but you don't have to shy away from the bottom side. And London, looking at team fights later on, you need Tristana and Kai'Sa to probably hit that 1.5 2 iron mark, and you should play with your ultimates, Malphite and the Rumble.
Alrighty, well, we'll be loading into this game any moment now, so we're getting ready to go into our second game of the day. Like I said at the beginning, I really do think this is definitely going to be a power ranking game. These are two very strong rosters, and this is kind of where we start to see a bit of a placement, but again, it's the UKLC, and the UKLC is always quite hard to place the power rankings, because typically we don't know who's the strongest team until the final week. Last time it was a bit different when we had our first place team, who I'm having a complete brain fart on.
Resolve.
Was it Resolve? It was Resolve. Yeah. Who were pretty much undefeated throughout the whole thing, and then London pretty close behind them. So I think this time around, it's definitely going to be a lot closer affair. But we are onto the Rift. We are getting ready to go into our first game of the day.
Yeah, and very hype matchup organization to organization as well, just going off of the last couple of splits. London versus MNM always tends to be a pretty bloody affair, irregardless of the active roster. So hoping to see a little bit more of that. Though, given MNM's playstyle yesterday, if they want to bleed the team dry, it seems like they are very capable.
We are seeing this 5-man group as Gen coming in. See if anyone decides to face check that. As 2 times in a row, we actually have seen the red side team go for this invade, although MNM also grouping up 3 members in that bush off in the jungle in London. Not going to find anyone, so they are just going to have to recall back to safety, not be able to find themselves a cheesy kill.
Yeah, anticipating an invade, but actually just through the river, MNM were, whereas London were hoping that Clocks was maybe going for the what is kind of a traditional-ish now at the moment, lane ward. You will see a lot of teams try and catch other teams off guard, teams that are a little bit lazy in their level 1s. It's a very nice and easy way to actually secure a first blood, as interestingly, Epe, the rest of the team actually just came up just to make sure they weren't getting late invaded. Not going to see any lane swap shenanigans, which is why I thought for a second, but recognized where Mankey was, so he's just waiting on the bottom side. So Udyr going to be starting out on the bot side on his red buff. Rumble, same thing, just on the top side. So mirrored clears. Danica going to be playing to what should be double lane priority. Certainly through the Nocturne, most likely through the Lucian. And we'll have to see what No Name can actually make happen towards the bottom side. But for now, likely just going to try and play for both skulls.
Beely and Mango in this mid lane. Gonna go for a little bit of a fight, and Beely just about coming out on the tail end of the upward trade there. Forcing Vango to chug away on his corrupting potion. Level 2 is picked up by Vango first, and Beely now has to play a little bit further back.
And interestingly, Vango has the crafting pots, so gonna have some more charges there. Technically, a little more sustain. If I remember correctly, the way that Doran's Blade works is it's now like true Omnivamp, so you don't get like a whole bunch of lifesteal as quickly as the old Doran's Blade. But it does sort of scale up the longer you hold onto it. It feels a lot nicer, but only has 1 pot in comparison to 3 charges of the corrupting, so you're gonna have to get a lot of autos off to try and steal or vamp some life back. Brief look at the bot lane. I don't expect much to happen without jungler intervention down here. I think if Joppa and Clocks are playing this correctly, Pepe likely to have a relatively hard time finding some engages, specifically just because the Arcane Shift and the Body Slam, both really good disengage tools against Rel.
As we expected, Aragon has got the shove in the top side. Hackers can't really do too much about that. Beely just trying to zone Vango off a little bit of farm. Well, this wave will push back in, so Vango should be able to pick this, at least most of this up.
Yeah. And first time that... Yeah.
Okay, go. You go.
Yeah, no, I just recall the first time that these two teams met in spring, it ended up being a pretty one-sided MNM affair come the end of the game. It was relatively close, if I recall correctly. For around the first 10 minutes. So I'm going to have to hold this story because Vango is getting engaged.
Vango's getting flashed onto. One more flame splitter. His first blood, and Beely just jumps in and out. Woo! That was close.
Yeah, very close. And Gdanica was actually eyeing up a top lane play. Looks like they still might go for it. Akka's it's only a level 4 Malphite.
Yeah, they are going to go for the dive, but the teleports are coming in. They're flashing away to safety. Meanwhile,
too.
in the bot lane, Jeppe is low. Joppa just jumps in forwards. One last auto. Able to finish it up. Mankey now. He's been turned on to. The Essence Flux is going to get popped, and Joppa continues to fire away. Arcane Shift forward. They've got that flash. They've got the chase.
Whoa.
That's going to be Mankey flashing to safety. MNM just turn the heat up.
Yeah, they see what happens to Vango in the mid lane. They immediately respond with a play in the top side. They saw the health bars of No Name and Beely. They know they can't realistically respond. Beely has to recall and then teleport before he can even end up in the top side. And I believe Vango expended his teleport to actually match Beely's just in case something could have happened. Whilst on the bottom side, I'm not sure how the engage actually started up. But again, Ezreal and Gragas both very good at dealing with rel engages. So I'm assuming something along those lines occurred. Clocks at the very back end, very nice to just pressure Mankey into flashing. He doesn't commit his own flash, just body slamming forward is enough to ensure that Mankey actually flashes himself. We'll get the replay of the whole set of shenanigans. Beely...
I thought Beely killed himself. I really thought he was doomed.
Beely just killed himself too. Nice dive onto the level 4 Malphite. He's just not that tanky yet. You see Joppa rather flash forward to secure the kill on to the London support, and just hit Clocks. Just body slamming forward is enough to pressure Mankey into flashing away. Potential engage, yeah. Hepe is demounted.
Yeah, you said he's going to be vulnerable. He's low HP. Joppa's jumped into his face, and that's just Jeppe going down. A kill for the Ezreal, although the minions might finish him up. It's so low. Just about able to survive. Maybe a Void Seeker might finish the deal here from Mankey. But he's behind the minions now, and it's going to be hard to finish up.
Yeah, MNM all of a sudden just turning on the heat. They lost Mango, and it's just non-stop play after play after play now, 3 in a row. They're going to deliver this wave. Gdanica's very low on mana, so I'd be surprised if they try and turn this into a dragon. I think it would be a bit too greedy, considering they don't have a bot lane right now. And No Name is actually level 6 already. Not entirely sure how far behind Gdanica is on that mark, but of course Udyr doesn't have an ultimate. Where
he's on the run. Mankey's going to look to try and kill him. He's got that a little bit of damage, and he's just going to jump away. Chad Gunnica goes down.
Yeah. Chad Gunnica. Yeah. Chad Gunnica.
Chad Gunnica? Yeah, Chad Gunnica.
Yeah, Chad Gunnica. Yeah. Not the brightest moment from our jungler wonder boy here in the UKLC.
I hope we get an interview and like a proper Chad Gunnica interview. You know, where it's the camera and it's just like from his chin.
It's just like his
chin, it's like a FaceTime with your arm. Like that's literally what talking to him's like.
Yeah, if MNM do win this game, I hope it's Gdanica we get to interview, just because he's a funny fella to to always speak to. Off the back of that play, though, London were able to secure the Mountain Dragon. Not too surprised about that after where the MNM jungler died, but for now, we'll have to see what exactly London and MNM will both do. MNM seem very quick to respond to some plays. London, at the moment, eyeing up a bot play potentially.
Oh, that was Jeff Bay losing a lot of health. But maybe he's... Oh, no, he's dead. Okay. I thought maybe he was baiting and he just got popped.
Yeah, and I mean, this is kind of the problems of blind picking this rel when there's no support actually locked in. Yes, you banned out a whole heap of supports, but when you have a matchup as oppressive as Gragas plus this Ezreal, you see, he arcane shifts, he still gets stunned, but he arcane shifts out of danger, and that's the important thing. Takes a tower shot, gets stunned up, damage of the Essence Flux and the Ignite, all still there. Ezreal deceptively does a lot of damage in the early game, especially because Sheen is so cheap these days. It doesn't take a lot for him to be able to actually put in a lot of work in taking down some champions.
Really trying to go aggressive onto Van Gogh. If you've played Tristana before, it's actually the most depressing thing. Jumping, Eing, and then not even getting a single auto attack off. As they just jump to safety.
London do not like Van Gogh. And that's why I'm gathering right here. 4-man in the mid lane, but London are here to respond.
Well, so are MNM. Everybody's ready for a little bit of a brawl in the mid lane. They are able to pick a plate up at least in the mid lane, so something gained for London. That Rift Herald is being pinged out. A lot of attention's being put onto it.
I do like the posturing here from London, because they should know that they are going to be stronger in some of these river skirmishes. They just have more powerful ultimates available for them all around. But if MNM can sneak into pockets of vision like they almost did there, and actually pick people off with, you know, body slams, with a flash bear slap, nocturne armors as well, they can very easily pick off targets pretty much at will, as long as London are kind of caught unawares by some of these plays.
It looks like this Rift Herald is going to get secured here by MNM. I say that, and London actually just bring everybody in. Clox is about trying to see if he can get out of this one, as Rift Herald going to continue to go. They're jumping in. They've got the equalizer. They're just melting through Gadanica. As London just turn onto MNM, they get themselves the Rift Herald leash and double kill onto Beely. It's just crumbled for MNM in that play.
Gadanica strikes again. He walks in to multiple members of London and it kind of just... well, it's not Sunday, so there's no charity donation going on at church, but it looked like it. Certainly stunned up, knocked up. Again, London just have very powerful tools to fight in places like this. This isn't even necessarily a choke, it's just the river. I think MNM just overstepping, London probably scratching their heads at what they were thinking to even try and contest that. And they give it the Rift Herald and a bunch of kills, and the gold all of a sudden swings 1,000 in London's favor.
I don't think that was Chad Onika. I think that was Sad Onika, that one.
Okay, I like that.
So we got Chad Onika when he does good, Sad Onika when he does bad.
Yo, these are like Twitch emotes, actually. I think
these are. Gad, we're literally giving you.
We're
just giving you free art marketing here. This is free brand building, bro. God damn.
It really is. But let's see what London are going to do with the Herald now, because there's a minute and a half until this dragon spawns up. And No Name has been pretty active, just sort of hovering lanes and being in lanes too. Pepe now actually has level 6 and he's got Hex Flash. Trying to find an angle. Oh,
Gad's going to find him. Goes into the quick Tiger stance and now gets caught out as he equalizes down. It's Sad Onika once again. Beely going to find himself the kill. He's got the resets. Van Gogh underneath his tower though, so shouldn't be into too much problems right now. 0-3 on Gad Onika. Been a pretty upsetting game for him right now in London. Are just accelerating this. They got a 3-0 Beely. They got a 2-0 No Name. Do have some gold onto Joppa, but he's also down in the farm department.
Yeah, and he's a whiles away from being that really obnoxious Ezreal with the Divine Sundera, with that Muramana stacked up and some of the tank items in his pocket as well, from, you know, doing a lot of hurt here. And for London, you know, once he does come online, he is going to have a lot of targets. It's just kind of the Malphite he has to worry about. The rail won't get too tanky as, hold on a minute.
They're trying to see if they can catch someone, but Aragon going to get jumped onto. The charge comes out, and that actually was enough to stop them from fully committing to the tower. But now London are actually pincered here. MNM are bringing everyone in, and Akers is going to go down straight away. That's two kills for MNM really quickly. Beely being chased, and Gad's coming in with a slap, unable to get it thanks to the harpoon slow. London just able to get away those 2 members, but they still lost 2. Mankey will get a plate. We'll have to head back to safety.
Yeah, some gold traded for Mankey in the bottom side. But all in all, losing a couple of members there, London did, and they're also going to lose out on this dragon. So all in all, roughly an equal, or a positive rather, trade up for MNM in this play. London kind of just caught sleeping in the river, much like MNM were a few minutes ago at the Herald. Aragon probably just going to get bullied at.
Aragon's getting committed.
Bullied.
Oh, no! What? No!
Oh, no.
Oh,
no. Oh, no.
All right, that was...
Cut the cameras.
Actually murder.
Cut the cameras.
That was murder.
He throws up the thumbs up because he knows what he just did. That was
that's illegal in 12 states. That's what that is.
It's like, have you watched iCarly?
I mean, no.
Do you know about the show?
I know what iCarly is.
Yeah. Do you know the co-main character Sam? The blonde one?
No.
Okay, well, she's banned from like all of Europe. No one ever knows why, but No Name just done something which could be akin to being banned from the continent. Yeah, there's a reason why Rumble is still considered the strongest jungler on this patch, guys, and that would be why.
Yeah, I was a little bit too old for iCurly, mate.
Yeah.
What you're forgetting is I'm closing quite rapidly in on 30 years old. I might not look it. I might still look like I'm 14.
You still look really young, yeah. I forget
know.
Sometimes.
Oh, hello.
Wow.
That was Tristana being Tristana. Yeah, I might look young, but yeah, I'm old.
It's actually the inverse, because people think I'm older than I look as well. People often think I'm sort of like 25, 26. Hepe might go for this Hex Flash play here.
He might do.
Are pretty far up, and Malphite's also in the area.
For it. Magnet Storm's on. Here comes Akkas. The carpet's laid down. Yoppa tries to jump away as Beely just gale forces into his face. The pop's not enough. The pop's there. Beely's down. Shut down onto the Gragas.
Yeah, it's a shutdown, but it goes on. Oh, the play's not over yet. Nocturne's here.
They're paranoid. There's the
True
true
shot.
shot. Oh, just shaving off the health bars. As Mankey maybe wants us to see if he can go 1 versus 4. I would advise not doing that one, friend.
No, not after seeing Chadanika do what he's been up to recently, or maybe it's Chadanika.
He's actually mad Danica now. He's been getting killed too much.
Oh, we are having way too much fun right now. It's just over-aggressive play from London there, and MNM capitalizing. All the while, Van Gogh was on the bottom side, farming up, pushing this tower, and very cleverly here, just trying to let as much CS die as possible, or at least the cannon, I suppose, before leaving the vicinity. And where was the Herald dropped? I've forgotten. Was it mid? It was mid,
They
right?
did initially use the first one mid.
Okay.
The next one hasn't been even spawned up yet.
I feel like I just lost track of time randomly, and I can't recall.
It was London who plopped it down mid, and then that fight broke out.
That's why the tower's dropped. Okay, so
yeah,
it's actually kind of warm today, so or warmer than it has been. Yeah.
I mean, if anyone wants to see what Jamada looks like topless,
yeah, you can go over to Twitter
and doesn't want to subscribe to an OnlyFans, you can just head over to Twitter, and I put a picture up.
Yeah,
it's warm.
Exactly. But yeah, the one unfortunate thing for MNM there was the shutdown actually went over to Clocks, the support. Definitely would have preferred that going over to Jopper, especially considering how strong he is right now. Snowballing him even closer and faster to that Man-Moon stack and Spike would be very, very nice.
Well, 16 minutes into the game, this game has definitely been a lot more fast-paced than our last game. Our last game was definitely a lot slower at the start. MNM and London are both being incredibly hyper-aggressive this game, and I'm loving it. This is what I love. I love to see this action. I love to see these teams being decisive and just committing to these plays. And, you know, for the better or the worse, these plays have been happening, and everyone just shoving these waves in. That Rift Herald is now up on the map, and they've got priority in the top lane. They've got first rotation from Joppa onto the mid lane as well, although with a Kai'Sa and a Rumble, this wave won't survive for too much longer. As the True Shot Barrage will just try and trim through the wave and maybe a little bit of the health bar.
Yeah, and again, whenever these organizations meet in the UKLC, it's typically a very bloody affair. Past 3 splits has always been very hectic, regardless of who they are fielding. And this game certainly is delivering on that side of things. And then they're going to take this Herald. 20 seconds till the next Dragon, so with members on the top side, let's see whether they want to commit more numbers up towards the top side anyway, because the bottom side is such a weak side for them, and London, it looks like, will just play into the strong side that they've created in the bottom side, hugging the Tristana down there.
Looks like Gaz just going to place down the Rift Herald in the top lane, runs in, quick drive-by on that one.
Okay.
Gaz found himself a rock.
He's found himself 3 rocks, technically. It's 2 Krogs and a Malphite.
Yeah. Rock and roll, baby. That's pretty rad. Or should I say, rad-onica.
Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. That's... He's going to have a blast watching this one back.
It's a sickness. I can't stop.
Gosh darn it. Well, oh, Aragon is probably dead. He's got flash, but so does No Name.
I mean,
yeah.
No Name can't see, neither can you, Aragon.
No. Let's see if you're in the death chamber. 2 towers traded on the top side. London not able to secure the mid lane tier 1. Of course, the bottom tier 1 dropped, I think, before the dragon spawned, and they will finally secure this one up, putting more gold into BD's pocket. Actually, if you could get a track of the gold, just because there's been a lot of swings here. BD with a pretty sizable lead, 1.5k in the mid lane, 1k lead for Yoppa, AD to AD. Other than that, of course, surprisingly, Godonica's kept up in gold with No Name. I think it's the CS difference keeping him in it there.
Plates as well.
Plates as well, yeah.
That has helped. Oh no, he didn't get plates from his Herald. I'm an idiot.
Tower from the top side.
Tower from the top side.
I'll save your point. I'll save your point.
And the CS, like you said, as well.
Yeah.
CS out-farmed so far. So it's still being impactful, even though No Name is a real problem. And we've seen Rumble permabanned for the entire of the UKLC so far. And now we're kind of seeing why it's been permabanned.
Yes. It's all coming to fruition now. We understand. And,
Rumble strong.
Rumble. Small yodeling machine strong. He burn things. That's how he is at the moment. And No Name didn't have the best game yesterday, unfortunately for him, but today definitely making up for it. Certainly,
yeah, absolutely
happy with his performance so far. Bullying solo laners. 15 minutes into the game, always feels good as a jungler.
Joppa's obviously finished up this Divine Sunderer now, so he's pretty strong right at the moment, getting towards that Manamune as well. He's shoving wave after wave. Both of these teams want to try and crack these mid lanes fairly soon, just so they can kind of open up the map a little bit more for themselves, but not really able to find the full commits. Joppa is actually going for a base and might give a small window for London. Remember, that tower's already quite low from the earlier charge, and Aragon going to get jumped onto by Beely, unable to... Oh! By the way, Gale Force makes AD carries assassins. Did you know?
Look, I complained about it all of last spring, and nothing's changed. Don't play by play this because Van Gogh's dead. Don't play by play it because Van Gogh's dead. He's dead. He's dead. He's dead. Malphite murdered him. There's no need. There's no need for it.
Why did you ever E forward to a Malphite?
I don't know. Questions have to be asked, but
I think
now,
hold on.
No.
There's the Magnet Storm into the Equalizer. Beely's just free firing away to get the true shot off, and Clocks are able to survive this one. Joppa just trying to put a little bit of extra damage out. MNM gonna lose themselves their mid laner and their support here. They have got an inside track onto this mid wave though, and with the Essence Flux and the Divine Sunderer, Joppa actually can take this down, so no real way to contest it. I think what happened for Van Gogh was he saw Beely assassinate Aragon, so he went, oh yeah, I can assassinate a top laner.
And I've got a Gale Force as well.
Then got assassinated by the top laner. It's only getting harder. There's a Randuin's Omen now finished up onto Akers.
Yeah, and again, you know, there is magic damage here and available for MNM, but it's not like they have a mage that actually warrants much magic resist being built. Nothing to say on the replays here because, quite frankly, what else is there to say other than so
I'm an idiot. Van Gogh actually Van Gogh didn't E forward. He E'd out.
Oh, But I think he...
Okay.
Well, look, either way, he was too close to the Malphite, and he died.
Don't put your head in the alligator's mouth.
No. No Steve Irwin, unfortunately. Even though Malphite isn't a crocodile, but that's not the point. I wonder when we're going to see Renekton show up, actually.
Yeah.
I don't know if he was banned in this game. I actually lost track.
I want to say no, but I could be incredibly wrong. Jeppe has that Hex Flash, and he might be looking to come over. He's got that Magnet Storm.
He definitely has an angle. And I don't think MNM have an idea that he's here. There's no vision on that side for them. But, oh, MNM, they've got the Baron side. And there's just no vision available for London here. So they're going to start out. But this is so risky when you're dealing with a Rumble and a Malphite at the same time. You need to leave that pit immediately as soon as they are in the area. Yeah, they spotted No Name. Aragon's very, very low. Going to get chunked out in London. They're not going to pull the trigger. They're going to play it smartly. They're going to let Baron do all the work for them. The zero risk play, while Beely will start up the Dragon. He should be able to secure this pretty quickly on his own. 2.5 items for himself. And MNM, they can't really do anything about it. Go catch the waves. And that Baron, not even a threat now. London kind of just getting away with everything here. That's their third Dragon, and they're going to be able to pick themselves up that soul. True Shot Barrage has been thrown out, and Beely very smartly able to pull it out in time so Joppa can't steal it. Yeah, and juxtaposed to yesterday, MNM's play very clean, very concise. But today, looking a little shakier. Not as disciplined as they were yesterday at all, but London certainly have a couple more threatening tools in terms of sort of ranged engage. And all in all, MNM's comp a little squishier than it was yesterday, so have to worry about some engage here as, well, Pepe did the support thing, the classic solo queue support thing. And MNM, they're going to start the Baron, so again, they still got to watch out for the Rumble and the Malphite, but honestly, they can burn this down very quick. Double AD carries.
It's going down low, but it needs to be London who pull this trigger soon. 3,000 health. The Paranoia has been burned. There's the Equalizer. They made us flash over the wall. They're unable to do it. Aragon's burning low. They use the casting onto Akers, who has to ult to safety. Teleport blown as well. Beely a little bit too slow, and that is going to be MNM, who just got away with a free Baron.
Yeah, MNM, they walk out. They get the pick on Tepe. Tepe just kind of, he wasn't necessarily even too isolated from his team. He just further forward than the rest of his team were. Gets bursted down in CC. And then they just turn it into a Baron just like that. The Malphite ult wasn't able to be used aggressively. No flash, no vision in the pit. Rumble ult goes down inside the pit. It does burn practically only Aragon though. So they are able to just secure the Baron for themselves. And now let's see what they can do with it, because MNM, they've not necessarily had full control or much control of this game for a little while. It's been very back and forth. London have been winning out in a lot of the map pressure over the last sort of 5 to 8 minutes. But with this Baron, they are going to be able to at least try and get something done, maybe knock down these 2 tier 2 towers still remaining.
You can see the gold graph over this game. It's been very up and down between these two teams. And London now with the Baron against them. Sorry, it's MNM who've got the Baron. They have to watch out, because this gold lead can grow even more right now if MNM are able to start dropping these towers. They've only got 2 tier 2s left, and then it is base structures. So MNM do have to worry about that, but the Dragon is going to be the real problem. 2 minutes 30 until that Dragon comes up, and that Dragon is going to be sole point for London. So London definitely going to be wanting to contest that one, although they can give it up. It's only the second for MNM, so it's not the end of the world if MNM pick this Dragon up.
No, certainly not. And MNM, they really don't want to be giving over an Ocean Soul in this kind of scenario. It will feel a little bit oppressive, but they do have the damage and the burst to sort of nullify the Ocean Soul on a lot of the targets here for London. But I think especially, you know, the threat of having an Elder Dragon spawn up earlier than necessary when you have to deal with the team fighting tools that London have is a scary prospect. So that stacking on top of each other, you certainly, with the Baron buff, you want to try and take as much map control as you can, push up your vision lines high so that London have to take the time to sweep that vision back out and give MNM the most or the greatest opportunity at taking this Dragon.
Felix going to jump in to Gardanka's face, and Gard just able to get away in time. Dragon in 1 minute 30 now. They're able to take down that tier 2 in the mid lane. The wave clear is really effective here from London. Able to deal with this wave, even with the Baron. Just thanks to these double AD carries coming in. Although MNM aren't actually letting London get too close to the wave. So they actually will struggle a little bit to deal with it.
And, oh, Yoppa, okay. Eating forward into the face of a Malphite. It's a bold play. As, yeah, MNM trying to cut London off this mid wave. And as long as they stay a little bit separated, they can't get too caught out by the frontliners here of London. Gadonica is just Chadonicering it up.
Yeah, that is Chadonica. Just stepping into their face. Yoppa also getting pretty Chad there as he does just E into the face of the Malphite just to poke him away. Beely has to jump over the wall to safety. And Yoppa now really oppressive. He's got that frozen heart, so he's actually deceptively tanky now.
Yeah. And you saw just the E and the auto attack damage. He missed the Mystic shot onto Beely was easily 400, 500 damage alone onto the mid laner of London. So Yoppa is truly online if he is landing his abilities and auto attacks and whatnot, essence fluxes on these carries. He is going to melt through them very quickly. Now, this dragon is spawning in 5 seconds. It's MNM right in front of this. Okay, that's a bold one, but
they're coming in. They've got the Magnet Storm. There's the equalizer. The fight is on. Yoppa's untouched though, and he goes unstoppable. Clock's able to survive for the moment. Aragon jumps away as Beely just goes in for the hunt, finds himself the kill. MNM coming in as Vango comes in to try and tidy this one up. Beely jumps into Gunnar face, gets himself one. Yoppa poking away though, and it's just going to shift in and mop this fight up. London are being quashed. Their health bars are too low, and Akers can't quite do enough damage, or maybe he can. No Name's slowed. No Name's trying to get the burn off as Yoppa jumps forward. The Zhonya's is burned. Yoppa one last Q, finds the triple kill, and MNM come out on top.
MNM find the ace. Yoppa is on fire with this Ezreal, yet to die. He has the items in his inventory to make this champion so damn oppressive. You saw how many times he was arcane shifting back and forward over the wall, away from the equalizers, away from the engagers. MNM, they find the fight. It looked very, very dicey at the very start. Akers' teleport was pretty deep, but at the end of the day, he's a Malphite. He's too tanky to immediately be burst down, and London capitalized on the initial engage. Aragon isn't allowed to dive forward onto any of the carries. Beely makes sure of that with an assassination attempt, but all the while, it's just Yoppa who goes untouched throughout this fight, and it's just so much damage just going unchecked. You see Hepe flash forward with the crash down. The equalizer is nice, but it's only onto frontliners. It's not zoning Yoppa truly away from the fight, and he's able to re-engage kind of, or just sort of pace himself away from members, so he's never really touched for a fair amount of this fight. And Beely, because he's focusing his fire on Aragon, who's a 1-4 Nocturne, he's not the one that's zoning away these key carries of MNM. And I saw that on the on the small picture too.
We'll get a replay. Yeah. We were in a replay. We'll get a replay of what just happened.
We probably, yeah, our observer
sorts the replay out of that.
Yeah. But yeah. Stellar team fighting from Yoppa individually there, and is able to bring MNM a team fight win in that scenario. London, not necessarily on the back foot right now. We're approaching the time in the game where gold leads start to matter less and less, and it will be on the execution of things. I just realized Beely, unless he just had that in his inventory, had 2 BF swords, one of which he just turned into an IE.
No.
I'm not sure if that was just poor timing of me catching his inventory there, but MNM, they're engaging. Oh, cast wide.
Yeah, not the cast they need, and maybe that might buy the time for London to jump forward. Akers, no flash, so with the slows coming in from the Ezreal Qs, he's just unable to get close enough to find himself an impactful ultimate.
God. Look at the cooldown reduction on Ezreal. He's just queuing. He queues faster than he can probably auto attack.
He is doing some serious work. He's just being a little bit careful, though. Able to shift away from Akers. He's just poking out, misses that true shot barrage. Baron is up, and then both of these teams are going to be looking for this. You got Mankey, who's technically capable of a lot of damage if he's not CC locked.
Yeah, he can certainly find an assassination attempt if Akers lands an ultimate onto one of these key carries here. Yoppa really, I don't even know if he's playing with fire. He's playing right on the edge all the time. Always makes you think that Akers might pull the trigger, but he's always in a position where he can arcane shift away safely. Such great positioning from Yoppa. In my opinion, he's making London kind of hesitate here now. Chadonica potentially. At an angle here is, oh boy, the fight. Fight HUD comes up. Observer knows what's going on.
Either Observer's itching for a
look at
fight.
Hefe.
He's coming in, he's going to the Hex Flash, he's going to miss it, but Beely, he doesn't care, jumping in, the Paranoia's on, the cask is there, Beely Gale forces away to safety, that's a big old equalizer onto Gad, who gets knocked up, and Mankey slides into the backline, looking for Aragon, Aragon goes golden, Mankey tries to get the blast going to get away, but he is separated from his team, they're chasing him down, can Mankey keep himself going? He's able to dodge away on one Ezreal Q, the next one also goes wide, another blast code for him to buy some space as No Name is coming in, and now it might be No Name and Beely who are the ones who are separated and isolated as Joppa lands the Q. Vango jumps in forwards and Beely able to get away. That was a messy, messy fight. Both teams lost 2, but that's all she wrote for it.
Yeah, so all this is going to be both supports, top laner on London, jungler on MNM. So there's not going to be a Baron attempt takedown here off the back of that fight, but MNM certainly stepping very aggressively far forward, or more Gdanica specifically here, trying to make something happen. It initially looked like Kepe was going to flash engage towards Joppa and Clocks, but just the threat of Gragas being in that line of engagement just meant that he couldn't really go in. You then see eventually he does engage, but he locks up Vango, Clocks. Vango wasn't necessarily a major threat, eventually Buster shot it away from Beely, and the damage just came down again from Joppa, who you can constantly see finding some damage, but London just stuck away Baron. MNM, they don't want this.
They're going for it though. That equalizer just melted the health bars. MNM, can they get closer? A great cast comes out. There's the Magnet Storm, but it's MNM who are coming out on top. No Name spitting out fire as Beely gets himself a double kill. One of those was a 1,000 gold shutdown onto Joppa. So much gold injected into Beely. Baron as well onto London as well. They are going to back away. They're going to teleport in, and Beely's looking to actually close out this game. He's got a big wave to work with, and he's going to close this out. The health, but the death timers are very, very long, and he has an exceptionally large wave to work with. The bases are actually being zoned and stopped for the moment. Beely does have to worry about Gad Anika. Can Gad stop him? He's going to be able to take one turret. Looking for the next one. He's used the satchel, trying to jump away. The pop is there. The tower goes down. Gad's coming in, but it's sad Anika, baby. He's going to get shut down. London are going to close this game out. 35 minutes on the clock. And an absolute mad one from London.
Yeah, absolute crazy game from both these teams here. And again, whenever these organizations meet, man, on the Rift, it's always crazy. London this time around are the victors of this bout. And honestly, you feel like that game could have just gone either way on a knife, on a knife edge, on a hat drop. Realistically, London, they sneak away the Baron. They turned it into a full win.
I mean, we had more kills and minutes in that game. It was a absolute slaughter fest of a game, and London do come out with a win, and a much needed win for them as well, because they lost their first game yesterday. MNM had already got a game, so they're kind of equalizing the score out with them as far as the standings go. So definitely a needed win for the side of London. But with that, I think it's time for us to throw to a quick break, and when we're back with the breakdown and an interview with Beely, the mid laner for that game. So we'll see you in a moment.